to that perfect person, you know what I'm saying, is given a chance. How important is conversation? I need an interview, I'm trying to get down with you. I need an interview, I'm trying to get down with you. I need an interview, I'm trying to get down with you. Get down with you, get down with you. I need an interview, I'm trying to get down with you. I need an
Symphony.com viewers, we are here with Amy Fitz Doyley. She is an artist from the UK, and I think this one is very exciting to me because, for one thing, I've never interviewed anyone over Skype, so this is my first one, and I've never talked to anybody that wasn't right here in Flint, actually. So this is really exciting for me. I want you guys to get to know her because she is amazing, just like all the artists that I pick for my site. So I'm gonna let her introduce herself, and then we're gonna hop into her interview. Go ahead, Amy.
Hi there, my name is Amy Fitz Doyley, and I am a singer, songwriter, performer from London, England. I will start off with just explaining sort of my name. I've gone through a few different names in the past, kind of trying to find myself and trying to feel comfortable. But the name that I'm going by now, as you know, Amy Fitz Doyley, is really my name with a small bit of my father's name. So that's the Fitz. And it's been put in the middle of mine. And my father was a singer as well, as was my mother. That's how they met. So it kind of feels like paying homage to my father a little.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. Music-wise, I mean, I started off as a dancer, actually. So I spent many years sort of doing ballet and jazz and street dance, and I thought that was going to be my route. Also, I did a lot of athletics in school, like high jump, long jump, and 100-meter sprint. So I also thought, oh, maybe I'll do that, and it just turned out that music was the thing that I turned to when I was doing my studies. I got a really great grade, and then I went on to the Brit School. Spent a couple of years there, and then I studied music business at university. So I've always been involved in kind of arty things, but also I'll try my hand at anything, something kind of physical or whatever. I'll give it a go, and
so
that's what I've done.
Very well rounded. That makes a great performer, though. The fact that you can do everything, like that means when you do shows, they're gonna be amazing. So can you tell me who you get your inspiration from? Like who is somebody that you listen to, like you grew up listening to besides your parents, or somebody that you listen to right now that every time you finish listening to them, you have some type of new idea?
Growing up, it was a lot of Lauryn Hill,
yes.
These days, I mean, even after many years, Erykah Badu.
Okay.
I'm a massive fan, and more and more, there's more and more UK artists now that I used to just turn to American artists, and I'll admit that, but these days there's a lot of UK artists that are really showing the way forward, like Leanne La Havas, and there's a girl called Sasha Keeble, really great voices and really honest sound, and I think that's what I enjoy most, just like an honesty through the music.
Right. When the songs that you have uploaded on SoundCloud, did you write those? Well, besides the cover, obviously, but the other ones, are those originals from you?
Those are originals, yeah. I try to write my own music, try to write my own songs. I don't really play an instrument, so a lot of it comes from just little melodies that come into my head, and then I kind of take them to musicians and say, how can we work on this? Or sometimes I just come with a whole song that I've just created in my head, and we kind of work on it that way.
Okay, because without sound, outside right now, it is like slush. Here, it's slushy, and the wind is blowing like the kids didn't have school today. The weather is nuts. But whenever I play without sound, it's like springtime and butterflies and fairies, and I'm just like, the song, can you explain it to me? In my mind, it's basically loving somebody in a world where you can't hear anything. You kind of just know how you feel. And I don't know, that's just kind of what I got from it. But can you explain it to me? Because as a fan, I'm like always playing it. And like, I think it's probably my most played track on SoundCloud, actually. Because every day I'm like, okay, I just need to hear it today. I need my fix today. So explain it to me.
Well, firstly, I'm so glad that you like it, and that you listen to the lyrics. It's really about. I met a musician. She was a drummer, and she was deaf, and I was like,
Oh,
okay. And I just,
wow.
I wanted to hear about her story and her view on things, and if people judged her and how she dealt with that. And so I decided to write a song about it from her perspective.
Oh my
So
God.
I
That
am
just makes
her.
you that much more amazing. I literally just like my face started tingling.
Oh,
That is so beautiful. I mean,
thank
because a lot
you.
of people can't take an inspiration that pure and make it into something amazing. Some people are like inspired by little things that really mean nothing. You know what I mean? But for you to actually have a story behind that, because that's kind of what I got from it. But I'm like, I don't know if I'm misinterpreting it. So I kind of wanted to hear it from you. But that,
Yeah.
oh my God, that song is just so amazing to me. It's
Oh.
so amazing. I think you did a wonderful job. Besides that, what other little inspirations do you have? Like, are you the type of person where all day you're picking up something and you're like writing something down, like line by line? Or do you actually sit and, you know, write out a whole song and then go get a melody for it? Like, how do you work? How do you create your hits?
Well, I do go through dry spells. So I go through spells of like really wanting to write and really nothing is coming. And so then I have to take myself out of my environment. So it might be that I need to go for a walk or that I need to go further afield. I may need to, maybe not need to, but feel like I need to travel. Like I need to go to somewhere in Europe and meet new people and come out of my comfort zone. And sometimes that's when I get inspired. Um, yeah, usually when the time comes and the inspiration is there, it's great. Obviously, I usually just sit
Right.
somewhere quiet, do it alone. I know there's a lot of friends of mine who also sing, and they like to do it in groups, or they like to have a vibe going on in the room. But I prefer just to be alone and kind of get my ideas and repeat things, record things on my phone, play them back, change them, and without being sort of judged by anybody else or having
Right.
ideas
Right.
in saying, "Oh no, don't," I don't like
Right.
that. Kind of like
And
to
then you
do it
kind
off
of, when
myself.
you're alone, you kind of get to make your mistakes too. You know what I mean? You're kind of like redoing it and like, oh, okay, no, let's switch this and let's put this there. Like my notebook looks nuts. Like nobody could ever steal my work, because if they opened it, they probably would have no idea what was going on because it's that jumbled up. But I think being an artist, that's kind of, you work well alone. I mean, have you ever had sessions though where you just went in the studio and then something just came up in the studio?
Yeah, I mean that's something that does happen. Even when I've written a song and I think it's finished, sometimes when you get into the studio, things just don't work the way you thought they would, and so
Okay.
you've got to do some thinking on the spot, adapting things, and so that's something I'm kind of used to. Things changing and having to come up with something. Oh, that line doesn't fit the way I thought it did. It
Right.
doesn't sound quite
Right.
right. Let's just change it. Let's add this. Let's take that away.
Now,
So,
do you prefer a bigger booth or a smaller one? Because I was actually talking to an artist yesterday, and she said that her booth, she likes her booths to be smaller because she feels confined and she feels like all of her true emotions come out in a small booth versus a bigger booth. Do you have any preferences like that?
I've never really thought about it. I mean, a lot of the recording that I do for like I just putting my ideas down. I've done laptop on lap, and I'm in my living room or I'm in my kitchen. So um, maybe something just a little bit bigger and just a bit more relaxed with a couch in there. Then I would feel like,
Gotcha.
okay, yeah, I can sit down, I can chill out if I want to.
Right. And kind of work. Okay, that's cool though.
Yeah.
Are you signed?
No, I'm
No, you're
not.
an independent artist. Do you plan on doing everything independent, or do you eventually want a contract, or how do you want to go about that?
I really do want to keep creative sort of control. I really
Right,
want to
right,
keep that side. I don't really want to sign that right over to anyone else and then be kicking myself and saying, why did I do
right,
that? That's not who I want to
right.
be.
Right. I mean, because you're doing an amazing job right now. And I know, I mean, we're in a different time now. So a lot of people don't feel the need to be signed. And that's perfectly fine because a lot of people do get bad deals. And I mean, when you are independent, yeah, it costs more. But in the long run, it's so much better because you really do get to stay true to yourself. You don't have to sell out for a radio hit. You don't have to go places you don't want to go or talk about things you don't want to talk about, because you have complete control. So I think, yeah, you're amazing anyway. So I think whatever you pick, you'll be fine.
Thank you.
Do you have anything coming up?
Anything coming up? I am currently working on an EP.
Okay.
So I'm working with a producer here in London, and we're trying to get some ideas down and trying to write and get organized and stuff. I mean, it's a lot of work, especially not being signed.
Right.
But I'm hoping that when the material's ready and when I'm happy with it, then I probably will outsource to some maybe production companies or just not necessarily people to sign me, but people to help get the word out.
Absolutely. Well, you can always email me. You can Skype me. You can whatever you have to do to give me the material. I am definitely going to do my best to promote you because I just really believe in the talent that you have. It's something so pure. It's just unadulterated truth. And we need that. We really, really need that. The world needs that. As far as EPs, do you think a lot of artists are putting out EPs rather than albums now? You think it's a reason for it, or?
Yeah, I think probably to do with the market changing and just people's attention spans. People are
listening to is really real.
Be real. People are listening to one song from one artist and another song from another and compiling their own albums of kind of like a compilation. And this has been happening over time. I do feel that there is some weight to putting out an album. So I mean, I know I've said EP, but if there's enough material, I could be swayed into releasing an album instead of an EP, just because it shows a body of work. It shows more of you, kind of dedication to putting out an album, and time. That you want to put out quality.
And I know a lot of artists, it's just different. Like Miguel, for instance, when he released Kaleidoscope Dream, he did the songs 3, 3, and 3 just because, he didn't want people to feel like they were committing themselves to him. He wanted you to kind of just get an idea, of what it was about. And then if you wanted to purchase the next set of 3, then you could. And then if you wanted to just do the whole album, you could. I like the way he broke it down so we could kind of understand him. I already understood him because I was already a fan, but for people who didn't, really listen to him, they didn't feel like they were buying the whole album, and what if it's not good? And then we have our artists like Kendrick Lamar who did an EP in 2009, but the EP was 17 songs. Because in his mind, he's like, this really should be an album. He's like, but no, I want to put it out as an EP because who can tell me that I can't have a long EP, basically.
Absolutely. You decide.
Right. And that's a part of that, not having a major, because at this time, he didn't have a major deal. He was just with Top Dog Entertainment. So it's like, you make the rules. You kind of do what you want to do. And I think that's so fun for us. Like, our generation of artists is going to have so much more fun than I think the past generation, because we just get so much more control. It's so many different ways for people to hear your music. I mean, who would have thought 10 years ago that I would be having a conversation with somebody from the UK?
I know,
here,
it's amazing.
Sitting in a living room in Flint, Michigan. Nobody would have thought of that. So that's amazing.